Hey everyone, in my last video I talked about how I was going to try to demold and it ended up being cast either too thin or because I didn't mix it right and ended up with a lot of extra of the hardener. That might be why it ended up too fragile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put resin and fiberglass to make it a little bit sturdier. So I have the fiberglass resin, and I also have the hardener. Now usually when you buy it like this, it comes with a hardener, but mine was a little bit older and the hardener had cracked open and leaked, so I had to get some new hardener. And then I have fiberglass mat, and there's a couple of different things you can do fiberglass fabrics, but fiberglass mat is best for my project in a couple of ways. First of all, you can see the texture, how the fibers go all different ways. That means that it's going to be strong in every direction, while a cloth will either be strong in this direction or this direction and this direction. And this one's going to be strong in all directions, and this will also conform to strange shapes the best, which isn't a big problem with this, but it'll be a bigger problem with, like, if you were doing a fluke mold. So I have rubber gloves, oops, and my mask. Not really sure if these things are necessary, but I have to wear them to be safe. So I'm gonna start mixing this, which you have to have either a metal or a glass container to mix your fiberglass resin, because when resin cures, it can heat up so hot that it'll melt plastic. So you can mix it in plastic, but you just need to be aware of that. So I have this little metal bucket, and I'm gonna start mixing it, and I'm gonna paint a really thin coat on and then lay down the mat and then paint a thicker coat over the mat. So, that's all the resin I have. So, I only had one container, and as you can see, that might have been enough for a fluke mold, but I still have a lot of my scale mold left, so, yeah. So, not enough for a whole scale mold, but, and I wanted to do 2 layers too, so, I'm gonna have to go get some more resin, but not right now. But you can see that I left a little overhang on the edges right here. That's so I can fold it around and to make sure that I had plenty to go all the way to the edge. And you can kind of see how the fabric kind of like dissolved once you put on the resin. And you really just want to work that into the cloth. It's really important that it's really worked into the fibers. And at first I was kind of thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to lay down a layer first. I'll just put the fiberglass down and put resin on top. But turned out that was really important because it kind of gave the fiberglass kind of something to sandwich onto when I painted it on. So I'm hoping it'll be strong because the shell shock has cracks in it. The working time for fiberglass resin is actually 10 to 12 minutes, which is a lot more than the shell shock was, which was like 4 minutes or something, maybe even less than that. So I like it a lot, and I might try to use it just for molds and without the shell shock in the future. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm going to do a couple more layers and not record it, and then we'll try to demold again.